Welcome to Kaks Bar and Podcast, Canada's first podcast bar. What that means is you can come here for food, you can come here for drinks, you can also come here and record a podcast. Come on down, we're located in downtown Calgary, Alberta in the Beltline area. See you soon. All right, and we're rolling. I'm here today with Shiraz, Sebastian, and Zach. They're with the YYC Real Estate podcast show. It's available on YouTube. Audio is Spotify, Apple?
Everywhere. Yeah,
everywhere?
Spotify, Apple.
TikTok, Facebook, everywhere.
Yeah. Awesome. Actually, you guys tell the audience about yourselves. Just give a quick little better intro than what I just did.
No worries at all. We do once a week real estate update for everyone out there, just on what's happening in the real estate market every 7 days. And after that, we center around a very casual conversation with a guest. Normally we have a guest on. So anyone YYC, usually. So promote them, what they're doing, help each other, keep the networking going. So it's been really exciting. We've enjoyed it. And that brought us even here.
Shiraz, why are you wearing sunglasses inside?
Because I'm on a couple hours sleep, and if you're recording this, I don't know if you want to see the zombie eyes, but I can take them off.
Oh, no, put them back on.
Yeah, put them back on. Jeez, oh my. Jeez. Like, we're supposed to sell your company here, but...
Yeah, so another point of the YYC Real Estate Show was to help people fall in love with their city again by bringing on a whole bunch of locals that, from art shows to, like, wine merchants, right? And I think we've done a pretty good job so far at bringing on so many different characters.
Yeah, we have, for sure.
Who do you guys brought on so far that's been... Like, would you say your show is... obviously, it's real estate focused, but at the same time, there's, like, an entertainment factor to it?
There is. And the reason why I wanted to make it the YYC Real Estate Show and have YYC in the name is to have like the YYC guests and basically plug people that that we meet and we think could be a good guest, obviously. And we've had... Obviously, other agents. We're all realtors. So we've had other agents. We've had mortgage brokers, but we've also had musicians and trainers and local artists. And so we really try to obviously keep the connections going in the city. So we've met a lot of cool people, and we've done a lot of good episodes with those people. So.
And we've even learned a lot about people that we do know. We learned a lot about them by having them as guests on our show. So much stuff. People we've known for like a year, and so many hidden talents we didn't even know. Some of our friends are signed to record labels and things like that. So
yeah.
And how about yourself? Like, tell us about this very exciting first in Canada podcast bar. So
like the Kaks Bar and Podcast show. It's like we're the first bar in Canada to be a bar podcast. And basically, when me and my partner did this, there was 4 of us. I was the S in Kaks. My business partner Kass is the K, and then we had 2 other partners. But in life, as you progress through some things, things don't work out. It ended up just being Kass and I. But we thought this was already done. Like we did not know there was no other bar that didn't have a podcast out of it. Like we literally thought, like, of course there was, but we just wanted to do it too. And then when we were incorporating, we ended up finding out, like, because they're like, "Are you a bar business or a podcast business?" I was like, "Well, one business." They're like, "Oh, like, that's unique. Like, we don't have that in the, like in the database or whatever. So I guess you're the first one." And I was like, "Okay, fuck yeah."
Nice.
But it was funnier because when we were going for our liquor license with the AJLC, they're like, "Wait, what are you guys again? Like a podcast bar?" And then I explained everything. And then she's like, "So you want to get people hammered and then film them?" And I was like, when you word it like that,
not necessarily, but kind of,
but that's exactly what we do here.
Yeah, but I mean, committing to a bar is like a big deal, right? How did you guys because a podcast is one thing, right? But a bar is a whole another thing.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't sleep much.
Yeah.
I'm awake every day, wondering, trying to make the business grow. And obviously, like everyone in the hospitality industry knows, it's a small margin. Like you don't really do it to get rich right away, unless you really nail it. Yeah. But most people do this because it's in many ways it's what they know, and then it was the next step after being a bartender or being a server, or being and they do it because they also love it, right? Because what other area of life are you paid to kind of hang out in a way? Yeah, you're working, but you're also hanging out. Like we've all. I used to work in an oil and gas company, and I mean, I was miserable at it personally, and I remember that was like a super corporate environment. You literally can't really be yourself. You know what I mean? Like at least in a bar, like I think that's somewhat like one of the main lines of work where you can like still like be yourself, to a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, like I mean, I in the back of my mind always knew I wanted to own a bar, but I'm not the brains behind the bar part. Like my partner is the restaurateur, if you will. He's that's his wheelhouse, and then what I brought to the table, other than whatever, like financing and stuff like that, is like it's like this. Like I love podcasting. This is what I want to do anyway. Like Shiraz and I were chatting about, because he's like, oh, I always want to do a podcast. Like a lot of people always want to do a podcast.
Right,
Podcasting's fun, like super fun, man. Like
Right.
So yeah, I don't know, but so how did you guys start your show? Like, because why would a real estate game need a podcast, right?
Well, we need to have a presence in social media nowadays as
Yeah.
real estate agents. So we want it to be a little different than just posting us in front of a house and talking for 30 seconds about the house.
Yeah.
So we thought this was a great way to give everyone a weekly update on what's happening. Because the biggest question we always get asked is, how's the market? All the time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this way, it's a weekly update on what is happening. We talk about everything under the umbrella of real estate, market trends, interest rates, any news. We talk about current events as well. So it's not just, tune in for that 10, 15 minutes of just real estate. There's also a lot of current events and what's happening around Alberta and Calgary, of course, mainly Calgary.
So your show, is it almost like checking the news, kind of like this is what's going on with real estate
Yeah.
check out YOC real estate show,
Check
like
the first 10, 15 minutes and it's your weekly update on what's happening.
okay, and then
real
what,
estate
and then you
market.
said after the 10 15 minutes then it becomes more cash, kind of like then that's just you guys podcasting about life
That's
or
when
whatever.
that's when the guest comes
Yeah.
in. Like we always we used to think that maybe we would do the market update and then we would have the guests come on after, but they just stay there and they hang out and we do our little update, and we obviously we want to plug ourselves. We have listings. We talk about our personal business. I mean, the goal at the start of this was obviously like to get business, and it's obviously turned into a very fun experience. And whether we get a deal from it or not yet, it's still something we really, really want to do.
Yeah.
But that's the goal. Like we want to be incorporated one day and be the YWC Real Estate Show and do deals from people that trust us from watching our show. So
You guys ever done a live deal on a podcast?
we've had not live necessarily. We have had things running through though, like signing contracts and stuff. And
But the issue with that is we have to tread lightly. We're governed under Real Estate Council of Alberta, RECA. So things like that,
True.
and it's we're not even supposed to disclose sale prices unless we have written consent from the seller.
Mhm.
So to take it a step further and actually live negotiate and discuss things, it's a conflict of interest.
Right.
It's we're kind of releasing sensitive information,
Uh-huh.
and unless ahead of time both parties agreed to doing that, we wouldn't be allowed to just talk about a live deal.
Because I just thought of an idea. I don't know again, but it might not be able to happen. But I just imagine like a podcast where you actually, or it might be more like a reality show. I'm thinking now, where you like, could you imagine seeing two athletes actually like at the bargaining table, like for real, like, and you see the actual like numbers being thrown and the way they react and their demands and like. I mean, I think that'd be insane.
That'd be super sick. But the thing about real estate is that offers are left open for days, right?
Mhm.
It's like the buyer has this much time to like accept the offer or whatnot, right? The only way I can imagine that like happening is that if we were like on a podcast and it was more like an auction kind of thing where it's like we have this great investment property, like do we have any buyers that want to come? Like that would have to be live, that are watching live right now. Like we have this property, this is like what we expect for like returns and whatnot. That could be the thing, but even then we have to be super careful with disclosing how much profit you could make because we were very.
Yeah, but like every rich rapper that ends up buying a house brags about like, all right, I made this much money and whatever, you know what I mean? So in the end, I'm kind of like, what was the point of being all secretive about everything when everyone's just trying to boast anyway?
Well, for us, it's our governing bodies that allow us to trade in real estate here in Alberta, right?
Yeah.
If we get consent, that's more than doable, right? You just have to get full consent, and it would be cool to have like an excited seller come on and talk about their experience.
Maybe like a celebrity or something.
Somebody, around here. I mean, YYC is it would probably be athletes, right? If you want to talk like celebrities around town, it would probably be like
that
one of our players.
Like, that'd just be cool if you're like, you say you can get someone from the Flames on and they're trying to buy a home, and then it's like, the content is literally the process that guy goes through, and then everyone gets to see like how living large actually is.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just an idea. I mean, who knows? But you got me going on a question. Do you guys think do you think Alberta's like real estate laws are like overkill, or do you guys think they're right in the pocket, or
compared to a lot of other places, we are called the Wild Wild West in some sort of things.
Oh, really?
Compared to even some things in the States, and then in BC and Ontario, there's a lot of stuff that we don't have to do that those provinces and states do.
They have additional taxes, fees for each transaction that we don't have.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So anytime you do a sale, there's additional land transfer tax and stuff like that. There's 2 or 3 additional hoops you have to jump through per transaction, whereas here it's just between buyer and seller, price, few conditions, and that's it.
I didn't know that. Like, I mean, I'm a homeowner, like I own a condo, but I'm not like super, to be honest, even the process, like my mortgage specialist just kind of walked me through it. And in the end, it was just me at the time being like, she's like, how much you make? And it was like, okay, like, is it above 60K or whatever? And I was like, yeah. It's like, yeah, you can buy a home. And then she just handled it from there, really. And then, so like, I mean, I'm ashamed to say I'm not even that well versed in my own homes, like finer details and stuff. But obviously, like once I look at it in some real time, then I learn more. But I mean, at the time, no, I just kind of like rolled with it, right?
Yeah, because like as far as like inside North America, Alberta is probably one of the easiest. Like all of North America, Alberta is probably one of the easiest places to trade in real estate, just because how simple it is. Even in Mexico, you can't digitally sign things, right? It's not as simple as here. You need some more disclosures when it comes to BC or Ontario.
Even Mexico, you can't digitally sign stuff?
Not at all. It always be notarized with a lawyer or like a notary, right?
Same with Dominican. Same within the Dominican.
Is it because there's a lot of like law jobs out there? Because a lot of people like it seems like Mexico and Dominican, like there's like I was on a vacation Shiraz in Dominican like a couple of years ago, and I saw like every third shop towards the downtown seemed like it was a law office. To be honest,
yeah, there is a lot of law offices there for sure, but I don't know if it's all just because of real estate, but there is a lot of real estate going on there, a lot of construction, new construction. But definitely like going through it firsthand. I did have to go see the lawyer in person. I did have to sign things the old-fashioned way, ink to paper. There was no DocuSign.
Is it easier to be a lawyer down there than over here? You know what I mean?
That I don't know. I'm not sure if it would be easier.
Because you always see those movies about like these shysters that just do an online lawyer like course or whatever, and then all of a sudden,
Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad
kind of thing.
In
Kind
Mexico,
Zach, you kind of look like a character from from Better Call Saul.
I don't know if it's a good thing or
no, it's a great thing. It's a great thing. I just love your face.
I can do that.
You seem like a character.
The one thing being a lawyer in Mexico that I've found with my own experience, right? We bought a property down in Mexico, is that the lawyer was representing both sides of the party, right?
That's weird.
And he wasn't even helping mitigate the problems that were like found within the deal. He was just letting the buyer and the seller kind of fight it out, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Which was weird, right?
Right.
Because here it's like
here they step in.
Yeah. Here they would step in. Here they give you advice. But down there, maybe it was just my particular lawyer.
I was gonna say there's a difference between like law in like Mexico and Canada and like that one bad lawyer. Like I'm sure there's a lot of lawyers in Calgary. So.
Well, as far as my dad taught me, is like find a lawyer with a strong name, right? And he had a strong name, but
what was it? Velasquez or something.
That's some.
Ask me from now on. Don't ask your father. That is not good advice. Just because he has a strong name does not mean he's a good person.
What was his name? Like, what was strong? Like, I'm just curious.
What was his lawyer's name in Mexico?
Yeah.
I mean, he probably won't hear the podcast, but his name was Carlos Monforte.
Okay.
Sounds cartelish.
Yeah. I was gonna say let's blank that out.
I just think it's funny that you say Mexico basically has more laws, but it's more lawless over there in some ways due to like the black market and everything. I don't know. That just seems ironic, but okay. But guys, business is good in Alberta right now.
Business last 2 years.
It's hot. It's hot.
Still in a strong seller's market. I'll give you an example. A balanced market here in Calgary is between 3,500 to 4,000 listings, and today we're at 2,400.
Okay.
So supply and demand
dictates whether we're in a buyer's market or a seller's market.
Okay.
And we've been in a seller's market for 2 years now.
Okay. Yeah. And again, dumb question for me. Like, which is more lucrative, help someone buy a home or sell a home?
So
It's the same.
It's the exact same commission, but I wouldn't say lucrative. It's more about your marketing. Like, I mean, if you're representing a buyer, there's no sign on the lawn that says I just helped you buy this house. If you're selling a house, that's your free marketing. Like we were talking about earlier today. Like the best real marketing I've had as being a realtor has been from a sign on someone's lawn. And then someone in the neighborhood, the neighbor passes by and said, "Oh, you're selling this house. Let's talk about pricing and stuff." But he's right. Obviously, commission-wise, the buying side, the seller pays both commission, pays the selling agent, the buying agent side. But in terms of, I'd say for me, I want to be more of a listing agent.
Yeah.
It's easier. Let's be honest. So you're not running our showings. You do an appointment. You do a home evaluation. You get your sign on the lawn, and you wait for offers to come in.
But I mean, as far as for the seller or the buyer of the actual property,
for now?
Actually, yeah, let's pause for a second.
Right.
Yeah.
As far as like for the actual seller or the buyer, like the thing is, we've talked about this before. If you sell high, you buy high, right? And for a buyer, if you buy high, like what is your saying, Shiraz, when it comes to like buying in the real estate market? It's
Best time to buy was 5 years ago.
Well, with real estate,
a lot of sayings.
No matter what the market is doing, like if you're interested in investing and purchasing real estate, you buy real estate and wait. You don't wait to buy real estate.
That's what it is.
Every day you're putting more into your pocket when you're an owner of any real estate anywhere, right? It's the safest investment. Talk to any successful person, any successful entrepreneur, anyone. They'll have definitely a real estate portfolio, and that'll probably be their biggest avenue for making their income.
This might be a bit of a like tell me to shut up if you feel like I'm being a prick or
no,
whatever.
Never.
Okay, so as an example, it's like you ever been to a gym and the trainer's out of shape?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're kind of like thinking like, why is this guy giving the fitness advice? Right. And then you've ever been to like a bank where, this is the financial advisor, but he's more broke than you kind of thing. Like that was one thing I always thought of when I was a kid, where I was like, oh, the real estate people, they must all already own a bunch of homes, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Like, but do you think that most realtors, like, do they even have as much real estate? Like most of them, like
most do. And most
do. Shaking his head.
No, but most do, right? Like it may not be the same for like a new agent 1 or 2 years in the game, but predominantly agents get in and are trading for themselves as well. My personal only reason to get in was to buy for myself.
Right.
Became an agent to represent myself.
So maybe you're saying like the rookies don't have homes yet, but the vets do.
The reason I was shaking my head no is because I think the failure rate for realtors is like 80% in the first year.
80% the first 2 years.
What does that mean by fail? Like they don't sell anything?
No, they just quit the industry. They leave the industry.
Real estate because, and obviously all factors, but you're not making enough money to pay the bills.
Right.
Or it's too hard.
So the reason I said no, like if it's an established realtor that has his connections and has has a proper income, sure, they're definitely investing in real estate. But if it's just the average realtor, I would say no. Because there is thousands. There's how many in Calgary?
There's
like
7,000 realtors around, I think, and 7,000 realtors.
Almost 7,000 realtors, and almost 80% of them are going to fail in the next 2 years.
Wasn't there a stat too that something like 20% of realtors make 90% of the money or something like that?
It's that 90-10 rule,
90-10.
where like 90% of the business is in 10% of the hands. Like 10% of the agents, the top 10%. Yeah. Usually do hold about 90% of the business.
Yeah. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Wow. So the 10%. Sorry, the
like
top 10 agents.
It's not even top 10. We can say it that way. Let's say there's 100 agents. The top 10 agents will have like, let's say there's 500 deals. They're gonna have like 400 some of those.
Yeah.
Deals.
Well, wow. and it's
so you guys in that top 10?
We're part of the top 5 team in Alberta and top 10 team in Canada. So we do collectively within our team. We do about a deal a day in our team. So we are in that top 10% as far as our team.
Well, congrats.
Thanks. Yeah. But individually, everyone has, like, there's been a month where I did 5 deals. There's been a month where I only did 1. Yeah. So you can really look at it for the whole year and see how much you did. You can't really say like every month I do a certain amount. Just look at the whole year, see how many you did.
Would you say being a realtor is like volatile though? Like as far as like making money, like it's unpredictable?
Yeah, it's self-employment. The market's gonna dictate things, right? So, hey,
Hi.
Queen Lane.
How's it going?
Good. Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you so much.
No worries. Want another beer, Shawnee?
I'm good. Thank you.
Good? Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Sean, I wanted to ask a few questions about
fire-
your
fire
establishment here.
Yeah. It's a conversation, guys. We can
Yeah,
talk
just generic. We met Emma, and Emma did artwork here.
Yeah,
So
Emma.
how did you meet Emma, and how did you decide with the style and the coloring that you've gone with in your establishment? Was it you? Was it a collective decision?
So their base short version it was actually Emma's partner. Her name's Jessie St. Clair. She's friends with Chef. She did a portrait for Chef years ago, and then Chef showed me the portrait, and then I was like, "Wow, this is amazing! Can I meet Jessie St. Clair?" And then we did, and then she showed us her work on her websites and Instagram. So we hired her, but then she brought on Emma because her and Emma do a collaboration called Moonlight Collab. So then they collabed on that. So, but in a way, I would say Jessie still spearheaded it, and then Emma backed her up, if you will, with the coloring stuff. But then the graffitis, his name is JD, and literally we just Googled graffiti artist in Calgary, and he popped up. So his Instagram handle is called Boga Artist, and he actually did the graffiti on the big apartment building up on. We're 10th and 1st, 10th and 2nd over there. That's him.
Yeah.
Is that one of the huge one of the world's biggest murals?
He was on a swing set going down. It's on his Instagram, and it's quite remarkable actually. So they did that, and I can't recommend them enough. If everyone's ever looking for local work, they were amazing. As far as the room layout goes, it's kind of funny. We just kind of winged it, if I have to be perfectly honest. We just at first we were thinking in our head what I thought of was and Kass kind of thought the same thing. We thought of in New York, if you go into an alley, we thought that, right? And then that's where there's a brick underlaying underneath the bar. There's the hang lights, and then the floor is just cement. We want that almost block party graffiti look. Yeah, industrial. And also why we chose industrial is cheaper. It really is. So
It suits the area though.
Yeah,
this look suits the area.
Yeah. We thought so
100%.
too. We thought so too.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah,
And I see you let your your guests and your loyal customers just put their own handles everywhere.
Yeah. That just naturally happened. Well, mostly people were drunk on the opening weekend and drawing on the walls like children, literally by accident. And then all of a sudden we're actually that's cool. Keep doing that. But I wouldn't read too closely into the wall because it's not everyone keeps thinking, oh, it's cute, and then as they look in, half of them are like dick jokes and phone numbers and boobs being drawn.
Because it just kind of shows what drunk people are thinking though.
I guess
it's kind of cool.
Just immaturity.
I was thinking about that actually. I was gonna ask you. I was just saying I was surprised that that's allowed to happen with the lease and stuff. I didn't know
Shut up.
Yeah, no. That's fair. That's very fair. I will shut up.
Yeah.
Well, you're liable. You paint over it if you have to, right?
Yeah, we'll cut that part out.
Yeah.
I didn't know actually.
Yeah,
It just kind of happened. Well, the landlord's been in a bunch. Didn't say anything.
No,
So
as far as your lease goes,
do you want the mic for this or?
Yeah, I'm just saying as far as commercial leases go, you are free to do that within these parameters inside where you're trading.
Yeah.
So that is not going to be an issue for any landlord. Come time, let's say you move to a bigger location or you move to a different location, they may ask you to, fit the bill to cover that up.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, that should be fine.
Just paint.
Just painting. Yeah. We'll do that.
So I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, we're here for a while, so it's gonna be fine. I don't know, it's fun. We do allow minors at this bar. Liquor license allows minors. We just like to keep minors out after 8 p.m. just because we're still finding our crowd, and it's just an assortment of people coming in here. But on the weekends at night, it definitely gets clubby in here. Like girls are dancing. There's a lot of bar hopping because Craft is there, Nationals here, Cowboys is there. We're literally in this L shape now, right in the middle. So then and then by remember during the daytime, my brother brought in his kids and they're all under 4.
And he's like, oh, look at the wall. Like, Uncle Shawn built a bar. And he's like, oh, my. He's like, let's not look at this anymore.
Yeah.
And then I was,
My question is, do you think you'd let us put our logo up? Because Shiraz is a fantastic drawer. So,
yeah, absolutely.
We would love to.
Yeah, like, let's talk about that for a sec. Like, Mr.
Oh, are you actually like a talented artist? Like, you can draw? Like,
the guy has a lot of weird skills.
He's good at basketball.
No, he is.
He's
He
super
is.
good at
It's
basketball.
cool.
We all have hidden talents. It's not something I pursued ever in my life, but when I've had time and I've tried, I've been able to draw
like freehand.
Yeah.
Like what? Like comic book stuff or like?
Do you have,
I used to
that
draw a lot
picture
of
on your-
Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Do you have the
to be
picture on your
honest.
phone?
Fuck yeah, I love that.
I used to draw a lot of Dragon Ball Z stuff.
Honestly, I
Do
can
even have my phone?
not that I can actually draw a little bit too, but like, yeah. But anyway, I wouldn't say super good, but actually, I am. What am I saying? Like, I can literally draw too.
What am I saying? I'm an
I
artist.
can actually.
Yeah.
What am
Don't
I
be
saying?
shy.
Why am I lying? Like
I'm
my
a beauty.
first dream when I was a kid was to be a comic book artist, actually.
Oh.
And I actually drew a bunch of comics. What am I saying? Like, I love drawing. I can draw too. Actually, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's cool.
Have you put anything?
No, I should. I was thinking about going back to my parents' house and grabbing. I had a whole big art folder, but I drew comic stuff. Like I even made like superheroes and
You should throw something up on your own wall.
I gotta go find it.
Yourself.
It's deep in the old folks' basement now, and I'm not sure I can. I'm sure I can still draw it, but I was really into it before. Actually, the more I think about it, but then by the time I was 10, then I shifted to sports, and then But were you drawing right as a child, right till like? Because I remember that I just discovered I could do it. It wasn't like
Me too. I
it wasn't
never
like
had a class. I never had a course.
My mom just one day was like, who bought this?" And then my dad was like, "Well, Shawn drew that." And she's like, "What do you mean he drew that?" And then for a second they thought I was a genius, and then but then my grades showed I wasn't. So, yeah.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, he could draw, but he barely can read.
Fake it till you make it. That's
Yeah.
okay.
But I mean, genius or not, it's like we're letting the system dictate whether you're a genius or not. There's artists that don't do well in reading, writing, or arithmetic, but they could very well be geniuses in other avenues.
Like Rain Man.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Things like
True.
that. So.
Like Rain Man.
Yeah. So how did you guys meet? How you guys obviously seem like boys as well. Like wouldn't like you guys be hanging out even if you didn't work together?
Oh yeah, we're boys for sure. We're all boys. We met through real estate. I mean, obviously we all joined the same team. Shiraz was the first one. Or Seb, were you before Shiraz? Shiraz, and then Seb, and then I joined. I was the third to join.
Mhm.
And then kind of like one of those things where like you just know who you're gonna get along with. Like obviously I get along with everyone on the team. But we all of the three of us made an instant connection for sure. And I know we had a couple of beers at the start together, went out sometimes and became friends through that. And then obviously just business and friendship, and then also the YYC real estate show really brought us together. I mean, we do something that we're all interested in and have a passion for every week and work. So yeah,
I'm just proud we've been staying with it and we haven't missed a day.
we haven't.
Even I've been out of country, he's been away. We still don't miss an episode. So.
Yeah, because you guys actually like love what you do.
We do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do.
Do you guys find that this is something I find like this is something I've observed, but I don't know how accurate it is. But it seems like most realtors now, like the generation of realtors coming up, like in our age range, like they were all the cool party guy that kind of like decided to grow up, if you will. That's the vibe I get.
that was spot on.
Yeah,
Too accurate.
Yeah, because I was like, because everyone I know who was that guy who is now a realtor, and like, but like they're like good at it, right? Because like because like the whole thing is, you know, you're buying a house is a scary process, and then you have this. You don't want that classic like realtor guy from, you know, The Simpsons, like Gil, who's like, Gil needs to make that sale because he's like dirt broke all the time. Like, you don't want that guy, or like the snippy Asian lady who's like, you stay on the left side of town. That's mine. Like the new wave of realtors is all people we grew up with that were like fun, social, and like you just want to, because you almost just need a friend to hold your hand while you buy the house, and like, and then that's
true.
what I noticed most of the realtors.
Well, I feel like to support that, it's kind of like real estate isn't necessarily difficult. It's a simple process, right? But it isn't necessarily easy, right? It's straightforward.
Yeah.
There's like steps to it, but having someone that has confidence in what they're doing really just helps you go through that simple process a lot easier.
Well, it's honestly like I could teach a monkey how to write a contract. Like it's not that hard. It's the connections though. Like it's someone first of all getting someone to trust you, getting clients that you can repeat and want to use you again. I mean, I think like a big thing about like the popular cool kid in high school that's now a realtor is because like those kids could always talk. You have to be able to talk in real estate. Like you couldn't be the quiet kid. I mean, and you go to someone else and do great at it, but you couldn't be a quiet person in real estate. You just can't.
Mhm.
It'd be very hard at least. You had to be very social
because we're like, I mean, just like, because the thing is like, yes, doing deals is probably, I would say even 20% of the actual work we do. Like the whole transaction, 80% or 70% is us just trying to get clients.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Where it's like cold calls, door knocking, like
self-marketing.
When you say you're trying to get clients, because it sounds like it just sounds such a major ask to try to convince someone to buy a house. You know what I mean? Like because it's like a super purchase.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's like more of an ask. It's like you kind of got to go with the mentality that everybody maybe. Either whether it's the next week or the next 5 years will buy or sell a house. So I mean, it's all for us. It's all about like making sure we have business in 6 months, in a year. Like we don't go and cold call and door knock and do all that stuff for today. We do it first week and get our bills paid next year.
Right. It's like a never-ending seed planting.
Never, and we've all noticed. Like we talked about it as well. Like sometimes you get so wrapped up in like. Let's say you have 3 deals going on, like 3 clients, like you get so wrapped up and you stop still getting new people, but then all those 3 close and you have nobody and then you're screwed.
Yeah.
So you got to always keep prospecting like all the time. Even when you're busy, you have to find a way to keep trying to get new people.
So sorry. I know the real estate, it absolutely requires a booming economy, right? Right.
Well, like even in a bust economy,
like Detroit, for instance, when they went through like their automobile industry, like kind of like not doing well, and like that was like a centerpiece of their economy. Like I would imagine not much real estate activity would be happening.
The prices just dropped drastically.
Yeah.
We had a guest on, Tristan Black is his name. He's an ex CFL champ. So we do business with him as well over at Cash and Homes. He told us about his time in Detroit. And he said he had a teammate that was ahead of his time. No one on his team was thinking about investing, purchasing, whereas this guy, he said, bought like 5 or 6 houses for about $6,000 each.
Right. What am I saying? Yeah, you're right. If an economy is in the fritz, but that city used to be a mega thriving city, there's lots of real estate and property. Like you don't have to live in the city. You can cruise over there, buy and hold, and then eventually
those same ones we looked at them live online when we were talking with him. And he had the addresses remembered on a few of them, and they were $300,000 US.
He bought it for $6,000.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
Yeah, the thing is, I think I read somewhere that more millionaires and billionaires are made out of downtimes in the market than any other time, right?
Warren Buffett said that
exactly. And the thing is, for the general public, it might not be as good when there is a downtime, but for those few keeners,
you got to have money to hold and wait. Like you can't put all your life savings into something crashing and you're screwed. But I mean, if you have the money to be able to wait and hold, then real estate is always a good time to buy, and the market will always correct. Like maybe not in a year.
What do you mean by that? The market will always correct. I always hear that. Like, what do you mean by that?
Here's the thing about the market is that the market, it has always gone up over, even since we've been recording it 120 years. It's always gone up. There's always a dip. It corrects, it goes back up, and it goes even further up.
It's like a jagged mountain.
Is that a reflection of like you're talking about like society advancing? Like society's advancing, it might go through a little war, but then it continues to progress.
Exactly,
and
it has to do with whatever. Like amount of population, right, and society advancing, and density of population as well. Like so many different factors, but it is a lot to do with the fact that it's economy based. Yeah, it's economy.
But so many factors affect the economy as well, so you can't really pinpoint a crash or an upturn on one event necessarily. I mean, there's some things like housing crisis in like 2008, and like I mean, COVID like did some of that too. Like so, like there's so many factors that can go into that.
I think if you went into like 2020 and you asked people, hey, like should you invest in real estate? Most people will tell you the market's gonna crash. I was kind of convinced that the market was gonna crash too in 2020 and 2019, right? Because the market was so down already.
When you say crash, I mean a lot of people just can't afford homes and they have to walk away from their.
I say a
mortgages.
significantly like a significant downturn in like and not only the stock but like interest rates going like just a bunch of different factors, right? But the thing is, it's so hard to predict, like Zach said, that the interest rates went incredibly low. Real estate skyrocketed. Most businesses skyrocketed because of low interest rates, right? And even now, we haven't had this high of interest rates since
While
Yeah,
Hey,
like so
maybe-
right now that increase in the interest, like the Bank of Canada's primary interest rate, like right now is making Calgary a super expensive city now, right, to live. So
yeah,
like,
you would say it's like, oh my god, how would any like oh, house prices are crazy. People are buying like crazy.
as in the
They-
people
they
who can
haven't
afford
stopped- they
the people
haven't
who
slowed down.
can afford it have been buying.
I mean, they've slowed down a little bit month over month, but it's still like it's unexpected, right? Mostly with the interest rates.
Is there a lot of is there a lot of corruption happening with that though? Because like, you remember what happened with in Vancouver, wasn't a lot of like wealthy Chinese businessmen just buying out properties like en masse and
I don't know if
it
it's
distorted the economy because it wasn't a true reflection of people trying to buy homes
I don't
to
know
live
if
in it
it's
and
like
rent it out. Like there's like
corruption as much as like those people in Vancouver or Ontario can't afford to live in there anymore, so they're moving to the next place with a great opportunity, which is Calgary.
yeah,
Right, so that we've had so many people migrating from Vancouver, Ontario, and some other places in Canada to Calgary because there's just so much job opportunity here, and Calgary is like, I think Calgary is still in for more booming.
You
As
think
much
so?
as it has
Aren't
been.
we? But our primary industry, the energy industry, is still in this weird like shackled state, right? Like, because like
It is, but nevertheless, it is still much more affordable than those other major cities in Canada.
right.
But
Interesting.
we are a direct correlation to our oil and gas sector.
Yeah.
When the oil and gas sector booms, it takes about 6 months for that to reflect into real estate,
Mm.
and you do see an uptick, of course, in real estate.
Mhm.
With that, I mean, we were all expecting it for the last 5-6 years. We got the yes 3-4 times on the Keystone Pipeline, which is really going to help Alberta.
Yeah.
Kept getting kiboshed,
Yeah.
they kept getting stopped. Changes in political powers would put a halt on those things. So
Mhm.
hopefully, with the next elections coming, maybe there's some light at the end of the tunnel for our energy sector.
Right.
I hope, because it's going to help everything, not just real estate, but many jobs will be created. And everyone will be a lot happier. Hope gas prices go down at the pump too, right?
Yeah. Okay, sweet. So right now, like, what's next for, like, what's the mega and end goal for you3 right now? Like, just become more like growing to social media side as well as like selling homes and things like that, or like,
Yeah, well, our job full time is being real estate agents.
Mhm.
We're enjoying doing the podcast and hoping that in the future it grows to where we can have something like you mentioned. That would be really great to have the authority signed off by a seller to come sit and on our show and talk about the entire process, or perhaps even get both sides to agree, and we can do a live negotiating or something. That might be really rare, but if both sides agree, we can make it happen. So for the foreseeable future, keep selling real estate, enjoy what we're doing once a week, and hopefully that grows to where we can reach audiences and they then reach out to us as their go-to for any real estate questions, which hopefully will then in turn lead to business for us.
sweet.
but like personally, I'd say, I mean, like, I want to be a real estate investor. I think that's all of our goals. I mean, you already are. I know that. And there's so much more that we can do solo and together, for sure. But obviously, I want to get to the point where I have properties around the world. Like, that's my goal. I mean, if I was to say someone, my end goal in this game would be, I have a house in a lot of countries, and then the cash flow through those houses, and I have the opportunity to vacation, when I want. Like, we all want to have that retirement life and have fun and be able to travel and kind of give back with your family as well. So
Yeah, like your guys' lifestyle, you're as busy as you want to be, basically, right?
yeah, it is. You get out what you put in,
Right.
but less. I say, like, I mean, you could put in, 12 hours a day for 6 months, and you might not get a thing. But I mean, consistency, and I'm a big believer in like manifestation as well. Like, I think it would
definitely.
come,
Yeah, me too.
and the hard work.
This is absolutely started with law of attraction.
It
in a way.
controls everything, and I mean, it's weird though. Like, there's sometimes you won't be busy on like a weekday, and then your whole weekend will be like packed. Like Friday to Sunday, you'll just be absolutely drained. But that's because people that are buying houses, they work their 9 to 5, and then they have their family time with the kids during the week, and then their time to go see houses is on the weekend, which is fine. So we kind of work around people's schedule. Obviously, we kind of try to set boundaries. I mean, obviously, you do want to do your client. Like if I have a Sunday family dinner, I don't see my family then in a couple of weeks or whatever, or months, then I'm going to say, you know what, from Sunday at 4 to 7, like I'm not available. But obviously at the start, we all want to make times work for our clients. So yeah,
Sweet.
Tell us about.
Oh, would you grab the mic?
You were mentioning, you're big on a manifestation, law of attraction.
Yeah.
I only recently started kind of not giving in, but kind of believing in that and actually trying it. I kind of shied away from that thinking, or even trying to write things down, create what's called a dream board.
You were telling me these guys didn't you guys make him do a dream board?
Our team, everyone had to.
Yeah. Well, I know it because, like, I mean, I'm like you, Shiraz. Like when I first heard about it, I'm like, that's that thing that was on Oprah, and like, and then that movie where you guys ever seen The Secret? Obviously, you guys seen The Secret, right? Yeah. And then like I remember being like, this is pretty lame and cheesy, man. Like it's like to me, I thought it was something like creating magic or whatever, right? But I ultimately, I don't know what you guys are, but like I do believe in God. I'm not an atheist. I do believe that there's a higher power. There's a reason why the mushroom is there too, because like I've dabbled in psychedelics. You guys ever hear of the hero dose? It's 7 grams of mushrooms. So Terrence McKenna invented it. Why 7? I don't know. I guess you could push it to 8, but anything past 5 is already a lot.
Yeah.
But I remember 7 is the dose. But I remember I did it twice, and it was like a very profound experience, especially at the time I was looking into a lot of like spirituality stuff, not necessarily religion, just because I hit like everyone, you hit a existential crisis from time. You're kind of like, what is this? Like, what is this? Like, what is like, what am I? Like, why does this matter? Why do I care? Like, how do I come here? Like, why the whys? Like, and then your head literally is about to explode. And then I remember, but with the mushrooms, I saw there was like we're all definitely one thing, whatever you want to call that. And that thing, some people call it God. But anyway, to go back to the law of attraction, it was after that psychedelic experience almost like 10 years ago, maybe more, that I was like, you know what? I'm going to get this woo-woo shit like a try. And then I remember just sitting there actually like really picturing like myself as an entrepreneur, like picturing it, like, and then feeling it. Like, and I started behaving, not like I'm acting, but being like it already happened. And then like reality caught up to the thing. And now my friends all said, no, that's not law of attraction. You just dialed in what you were focused on. That's all you did. And I'm like, hey, whatever. You want to call it that? You want to call it whatever it is. That system now is literally what I use to get anything done. Like, so, but the main key is I've learned to, you're not going to get it exactly the way you picture, but it'll be ballpark in the range. It'll be satisfying. It'll be like but the other thing is you got to work hard. Again, even if it's just your mind focusing in on what you need to do, then you got to do it.
Yeah, you still got to take action.
The action is the hardest.
Sit in bed and think away some money and some opportunity.
Well, even like I remember like when I was single, like I remember I'd be like, I want to meet a girl tonight, and then I remember being like picturing going to like a party or something, and then next thing you know, literally someone calls me and I'm at a party, and then and I'm seeing all these girls, but then I'm like, oh fuck, like what do I do now, kind of thing. Like I did nothing about it. You know what I mean? And then I was like, oh okay, and I went home, and I was like okay, well step 2 next time, go talk to them and like make something happen or whatever, right? So like the action part is where everyone who says it doesn't work is because they're not, when you look at it more, they're not, the moment presented itself and then they didn't do anything. They were like, they just didn't do anything. They just went, oh, okay. Oh, cool. That's when it fails. Like,
shoot or shoot. We talked about, I sent you that meme, that thing on text the other day, shoot or shoot. You got to go take your shot with anything in life, girls or business or all the stuff that's scary that you don't want to face.
No, but that's not like the main, whatever you call it, like law, if you will, for life. Like life's full of like I'm trying to discover now all these little what do you call it, whatever, like these laws, if you will, like they're everywhere. You just gotta discover it, because also I've noticed it's very easy to have a bad day and then it compounds fast too, because that's actually law of attraction again. Now you're thinking negative, and the negative things showing, and then you're taking action into the negative. And that one I haven't been able to fully shake, because there's so many days here where I don't know, like it's a slow lunch rush, and then you get demoralized. You're like, man, like, you know, because now you're thinking of all that food you ordered, and chef has to try to make specials out of that, which is fine, which we do have amazing specials, guys. But but oftentimes, you know, like for instance, like a bunch of food had to get thrown out, and then like that kills me, not just money wise, just seeing that waste, and then all of a sudden you're in a funk. The next, you know, like your podcast gets cancels, then you start overthinking it, like, oh, was it because you didn't like the content? Then it's snow, and then next you know, like you hit a hole for 2 days straight.
When it rains, it pours. For sure.
Right.
It usually comes all at once.
Right, but same thing, when you get a positive momentum, then it also goes. But
100%.
so I'm noticing, like, they should call it, because they make law of attraction sound like this guaranteed positive outcome, when really it's a constant control of your emotions, really.
And in your opinion, for the law of attraction, I feel like a lot of people want instant gratification when it comes to those kind of things, right? Like if someone is wanting to practice that like law of attraction, you know, kind of thinking about what they want and trying to manifest it, per se.
It's a long play for sure, depending on what you want.
Yeah, but I mean, what does that, like, long play in what sense, right? Like you just kind of like, you keep on trying to think about it till it happens, kind of thing, or?
So I have a system, actually. So it's on my phone. I write down what I'm making myself. Have you guys heard of Jocko Willink, by the way?
Yeah.
You've heard Jocko Willink? You've heard Jocko Willink? That guy's the man. That guy's my hero. He's the background on my computer. But I'll show you guys after. Jocko has this quick 5-minute video called Mind Control. So long story short, Jocko's an ex-Navy SEAL, and not only is he a Navy SEAL, he's the Navy SEAL. Like, he was Chris Kyle's commander, the guy from American Sniper.
Oh, wow.
Like, he's medaled. Like, he's like everyone he's the man. Everyone in the military talks about him. He's a legend. He's almost like a ghost, a boogeyman legend, because he's also Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's a pro surfer. He's built like a brick house. He's jacked. The guy is also a family man with like 4 kids, 3 daughters of all things, even though he's manly as fuck. Like, well-spoken. His podcast, the Jocko Podcast, I would highly recommend you guys listen to it. His book is called Extreme Ownership. It's all about leadership. He gets hired to be a leader, to show people how to be a leader. He's like on Joe Rogan's podcast all the time. Like, anyway, Jocko's the man, and even his videos, when you look him in the eye, you get scared because he's so dialed in.
Is that the black dude?
No, he's white.
Goggins?
Oh, he's kind of like a Goggins, but I would say Goggins. Okay. Goggins is. I love Goggins, by the way, but Jocko's actually a jiu-jitsu, like high level jiu-jitsu black belt. So like, he can fight.
Fuck you up. Yeah.
Oh, he trained Tito Ortiz. He trained all these guys. He was in his corner. People didn't know, but he was low key, because for the longest time he was told, do not go on the internet after he retired, because he's like, Navy SEALs do not do that. We're not flashy people. But Jocko, he realized he has a message to send out. But anyway, he has this video he called Mind Control. And when he talks about mind control, short version is that you're not trying to control other people's mind. You control your mind. So he said, like, how do you be tougher? He's like, you be tougher. Like, how do you not sleep in? You don't sleep in. It's like, how do you not skip a workout? You don't skip a workout.
Sounds like my dad.
Like, you just do it, right? It's that willpower thing. And then I started using Jocko Mind Control, but towards my manifestation. Like, I write down, like, today, literally, whenever you're thinking, whenever you notice yourself drifting, what you're going to think about is your bar. And you're going to literally say in your head, like, my bar is super successful. My podcast is super successful. Like, I am jacked. Like, I am awesome. And then, like, and you take action, right? Like, and so then all of a sudden someone will be talking, I might think about, like, oh, basketball all of a sudden, or like a TikTok meme. But then all of a sudden I catch myself. I go back to, my bar is awesome. It's like I repeat it over and over, and I'm picturing it too. And I walk like around like I feel like it. So that's the system I use anyway. And it's worked. I mean, all of this is a result of that for me anyway, even like staying in shape and whatever. Like, you know, but like Zach, I have to mention, like, I have bad days too, where I get this hole and then I forget about Jocko Mind Control, and I forget to check my phone because my phone is like 2 meters away or whatever. Then all of a sudden it compounds spirals literally in the exact opposite direction. Yeah. So like it is hard. It is hard. It takes discipline. And I don't know, sometimes I'm almost like, maybe I should write it, like a tattoo it on my forearm. Yeah. So that like it's a constant like, oh, like, you know, like maybe, I don't know. But Sebastian, does that kind of answer your question to what I think anyway about that?
Yeah, no, definitely. Just because like sometimes you hear like the manifestation thing, and it's so unspecific, you know, like it's just vague.
Why don't you try it? Like, why don't you try it? Like next time, I'm being serious. Like as an example, say you're in a parking lot, try to find a busy parking lot intentionally. I don't know, and then like just be like, I will find a parking spot, and like picture it, and then believe it. Like that was in The Secret, by the way, and like weirdly enough, it works for me. Like
You know
cool.
what I found has worked for me in the last like since I've joined the team at least is I don't know the ability to uncomplicate things as well, right? Like
Yes.
where you just simplify things
Yes.
and then take a lot of action on them.
I
And
agree.
that could be like a way of like, you know, manifesting where it's just like I just want this one thing.
Yeah.
I want these two things. It's easier to think about. It's
Yeah.
easier to keep
Well,
on
why don't
top
you-
of mind.
Why don't
Right?
you give us a specific example if you can?
Um,
What's something you're kind of doubting the manifestation process, so to speak?
Like for example,
If
when
that's what you're
I
doing.
first joined the team, I was like, I hated making calls, like cold calls, right? Like it was just nerve wracking. I just liked it a ton.
You were terrible.
I was so
For
bad,
sure.
so bad. No, honestly, I was so bad, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, that's all I wanted. I wanted just to get past that barrier of like just picking up the phone and calling. And thanks to Shiraz, I would say,
And Zach.
and Zach, they forced me to do it, and I got past that just because I had the one focus of getting past that one barrier of what's like it's like you're not bothering people.
Yeah.
You're just offering something,
Yeah. No, I agree.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
They're not gonna hate you forever. It
No.
just is what it is.
So
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, like, how did that fit into manifesting? It just seems like more like you overcame a fear, which again, I'm saying.
Well,
it's
no,
not
because
like
it was the one thing in my mind, right? Like
Right.
That's kind of like I wanted to get over that,
Okay.
right? So in some senses, I wasn't intentionally like I want to manifest. I wasn't saying this with I want to manifest it. I was just saying this is an obstacle I want to overcome,
Yeah.
and I felt like I overcame it
Yeah.
through
Well,
a
then-
simple focus of just this one thing. Where
Like
it's like,
getting yelled at by me.
yeah, Shraz would yell at me a lot.
And chirping
Yeah.
hard.
Like, and not saying anything different than what you mentioned about this guy, where he's like, "Oh, I don't want to make calls. I'm not good at it. Make more calls."
Yeah. That's actually it right
That's
there.
it.
Yeah.
That's
It's
it.
not
Like
hard.
that's mind control, right? You're like you're like afraid to do it, and then you just do it. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, where I would fail with Jocko mind control would be like I'm not gonna lie, I have a fear of heights. So like I remember like at the old Lindsay Park, the MNP Center. Remember that top diving board? I pushed out. I couldn't do it. Like I remember when I was like 11, like my brother did it, and then I walked all the way up, and I was like, and I couldn't. It was like I just couldn't jump. I couldn't do it, and I remember being like, fuck, and then like
Yeah.
it ate at me like forever. And then I still haven't done it actually.
I was gonna say, did you go back and conquer
No, well,
that?
no,
and
but
do it?
like I didn't try to. But I guess maybe today, if that's like the experiment, because I don't know. I mean, I'm not perfect. I mean, I just know that one gets me like an all encompassing physical like
I love
pausing because my brain just cannot picture the success. Oh, that's the main thing. You have to believe it. Like that's the key word. Like believe. Like some people are like, is it a chicken or the egg? Do you do the work first or you believe? No, it always starts with a belief. Like the belief has to come first from nothing. Like before I even knew how to get a business loan, how to find a commercial realtor, how to like look for a spot, how to understand what a square footage was. Before I even knew all that, I just believed I'm gonna have my own business. Like that, like that's the first step. But
Yeah.
but with the diving board thing, like I don't believe I can make that jump. I really don't because my brain keeps thinking like I'm gonna overturn, I'm gonna splash my face in, I'm gonna be blind in one eye. I literally thinks that. That's how like I'm like, and I can't shake that for something with really the heights. I don't know what it is. So I'm just like I can't. So that's where I'm like, if in theory, if I can Jocko mind control that, then what's like the sky's the limit, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But I can't. I know today I can't do. I literally don't believe I can make that jump without fucking up my face.
Yeah.
So, but why have you guys made? You know the diving board.
Oh
right?
yeah,
You guys all jumped
That's
it,
where
didn't
we
you?
go. Yeah. That's
Oh, really? Are you guys all jumped that?
I've done that, yeah.
Oh man, so
Yeah.
so I
It
don't know.
wasn't easy,
But
I
it's-
can
yeah,
sit here
no.
and tell you it was easy.
No one got hurt. No one overturned. You know what I mean?
No.
No, when you first do it, and I was a lot younger when I first did it there. We were all doing it for the first time, my friends and I. So we did it the easy way, which is you jump and it's straight, your feet first, right?
Yeah.
After we got comfortable and it wasn't that bad, and we were all having a good time. Now that's when we started changing.
Yeah, like
it
I've
up.
never dived. I ain't diving off that shit, but like I've penciled
Pencil,
that.
yeah.
Hold on, I got one more detail. Like this is one funny thing. I could do a backflip off the medium board. So like I'm not that afraid of heights in that, but I just can't make the leap off the top one. For whatever that extra 5 meters, it fucks me here. Like I don't know what it is. But I can actually do a backflip off the medium one. and then I can do a front flip off like the low one. So like it's not an athlete. It's like
We need to
It's just
tell you
weird.
what your
It's a mind
hero
block.
saying.
It's a mind
we
block.
should
yeah, it's a mind block. I don't know.
jump.
Yeah, but like again, anyway, like my brain is just convinced this is how I will be. Even if I try to do the feet, it'll be like
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
So I don't know,
And your mind's
man.
Powerful. Like
So we all
That's-
have
if that's what you're telling yourself,
it's-
that's what's gonna happen.
It's funny. Like I've
Yeah.
always had that because I played a lot of sports and hockey, and like I always had that with box jumps, like jumping onto a box.
yeah.
Like I was always afraid I was gonna like clip it and like smash my face on, but like I finally got over it. And it took like I was like terrified to do it.
Yeah.
It's not a height; it's just jumping onto a box. But like I saw people fall off or hit their face and like
But then you know what's ironic about the whole fear thing too is like I've done martial arts for years and I'm not afraid to fight and spar. Like that's something I have no fear of. Like it's like I just do it.
But it's because you're comfortable with it though. Like,
I'm
you know,
not.
like,
Yeah. Well, I also believe that I'm thinking I'm more dialed in on how, like I want to punch a guy in the face. Like I'm looking for that. Like I'm excited for it. Right.
and that's also against somebody like you in the water. Like it's just like you in the water.
It's more the height. It's the height.
It's about yourself. You're fighting your own mind.
So yeah, and that's where in very real time you're seeing the law of attraction like happen in the negative way. I'm saying I can't. I picture I can't, and then I can't.
Yeah.
And I take the action of I can't. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, for sure.
Zach, you're going to Montana
I am.
for pleasure or work?
No, I signed with the University of Providence, called in Montana to play hockey there.
Oh, nice.
I'm playing
Congrats.
on the university hockey team there. I'm taking business.
Okay, sweet.
So obviously, we talked about it on our show a couple of times, but I'm continuing doing real estate in terms of keeping up with the market, keeping clients, doing my referrals.
Like for the Calgary market,
For the
out
Calgary
of
market, yeah,
Montana.
yeah.
Why don't you do the Montana market?
because
you
there's
need
a
to
whole,
get all your licensing.
whole other licensing,
okay.
whole other school, and I'm going to be so busy with the actual school. So, and then obviously when I come back every April, I'll be doing real estate as a career, and in my mind, business is only going to help.
Are you in a first year at the
I'm going
university?
my first year.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
How old are you, Zach?
I just turned 22.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I played my years as a junior. Kind of like it's pretty popular in hockey. You don't usually go after high school. You go play your years as a junior. So I just aged out of my junior year, 21 last year. And I was kind of done with hockey. Well, I wasn't done with it in my mind, but I didn't really have any offers. Then I got a good offer to go, so I leave to that tomorrow.
So your hockey is primarily the vehicle you're using to get the education down there,
Oh, 100%.
right? Because like at this point, you're not trying to make the NHL.
No,
like you
100%.
wouldn't. Like,
100%. I'm not,
Yeah, he is.
Well, no, the goal would be to go to Europe, to go make some money in Europe.
did they make good money in Europe? By the way, I have a girl I know she officially is dating a pro hockey player in Germany. Like, do they make?
It depends on what league, what team, what country. It's more about your life is paid for. Like you get a
Yes, I
house,
heard that.
you get a car, you get food. Like you have no expenses. So in terms of how much money you make, I mean, you make like $100,000, but
That's
like
good.
you also have no bills.
Yeah,
So
$100,000 Canadian and no
100
bills.
Canadian,
like,
no
to
bills
play
to play hockey. I mean,
That's pretty
it's
sweet,
it's a
man.
pretty good lifestyle. So that'd be the goal. But I try not to look too far ahead. I'm focused on this year doing well. Like I have hockey goals that I need to surpass that I'm going to do. So
Sweet, awesome, man.
yeah, I'm
And
excited.
that's in 2 weeks. You said?
No, I leave tomorrow morning.
Oh shit! Are you
Yeah.
guys sad or? Oh right, that's why you guys went golfing today.
Yeah,
it was
yeah,
like going away. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
No, it's
Yeah, we're so sad.
Yeah. You guys both didn't care.
pushing me out. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Well,
we're-
he's only 4 hours away.
Yeah, and
He'll be
then,
back.
yeah, he'll be back from time to time. And we'll miss him,
Yeah.
but we'll hold down the fort while he's gone and
Yeah.
keep on growing what we have going on here. And
We'll
we're excited for
handle
him.
His business. We're going to be handling all of his clientele base on his behalf while he's away.
Just winding down. Shiraz, right? So you're right now doing a bunch of stuff in Dominican right now. Yeah, I saw a bit of your. I'm not gonna lie. I went on the YouTube page. The first thing I did was I went to the shorts, and then my mind just drew to you talking about like going to Pakistan or India or whatever, and then like
that was the
and
recent
then,
one.
yeah, and then like you said like you opened the airplane door
yeah,
and like
and
that waft of
it
of,
hit everything.
yeah.
Hit me. The humidity all at once. I had to gasp for a breath of air.
yeah.
So it was a huge culture shock.
Yeah, like
Um,
Russell Peters had a bit that was like explaining almost that exact thing, and then when you described it, I was like, it just made me think of that bit
Yeah,
because
yeah,
like
I know the bit, the Russell Peters bit, right?
yeah,
But he makes a joke about it, like all
Yeah.
your senses are attacked, right?
yeah.
He's like, there's animals, there's this, there's food, there's every smell, every sound, you get hit right away.
Yeah,
But-
it's just go, right?
Yeah.
Like bam, bam, like lights, like everything. Yeah.
lights, sounds.
Vietnam was like that too. I had a vacation there right before the pandemic. Yeah, that was pretty crazy too. And then I've been to Hong Kong, obviously. Like, yeah, when you think about like Calgary compared to these other places, like you said it in that short, like it is another world.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes
It
I'm
is.
like, forget getting on a spaceship and seeing aliens. Just go to another country that has a completely different way of doing things.
Yeah.
Like complete total shock.
Yeah, it's a big different world. You know it.
Yeah.
Going to China, going to Vietnam.
Yeah, it was definitely crazy. Like it just sets such a perspective because so many rules over there makes our rules here seem silly.
I know.
You know, because
Crazy.
over there you have a family all on one moped carrying a baby and no one's wearing a helmet.
Yeah, you
And
see
that's
that in
normal.
the Dominican too.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
over here that'd be jail time. Kid is taken by child services. Like
Yeah,
you know,
And, one thing I always wondered about here, we're like statistically like the worst drivers, and we have the biggest roads, and we
Are we?
shouldn't have accidents, but we have a lot of accidents. We have a lot of traffic jams, and we shouldn't. You go to these European countries that have so much traffic at all times, but it's always constantly moving,
yeah,
and they have minimal accidents.
that's true.
So what I want to
is
say
true.
about here, what I don't understand is we have all these rules and laws with distracted driving, your phone, all this kind of stuff, and yet you can have two dogs sitting on your lap in between you and the steering wheel, and that's not a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, explain that one to me. Like, how
Right.
is that not distracted driving?
And but you kind of answered the question there, like because like over in Vietnam when they pack them in, or India, like when so many people are forced to like drive alongside each other in a super populated condensed area, it's like you just develop the habits and the senses to not get in accidents or I
Yeah.
suppose, right? Because it amazes me how they're so organized. I'm like, how's no one running into
It's
each other?
organized chaos.
It's
is what I
organized
call it.
chaos.
Yeah.
I almost ruined it though because like I got on one of those bikes and my timing was just off and I like almost hit this old lady. Like yeah, and then it almost dominoed this whole thing. And it was, but I was
Like, tourist.
yeah, quite literally. They're like, what? Oh,
It's a tourist.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
but I'm like, I look like one of you. How can I be a tourist? Like, we know you're not from here. Like, fuck.
No, they know.
God damn.
And this is one of the only places where pedestrians have the right of the way. Like,
Which is a joke.
the roads are
which
built
is-
for automobiles. How do pedestrians have the right of way? Anywhere else you go, the
car
has
the right of
car
way.
has the right of way.
It is. I agree.
Sebastian, do you got anything coming down the pipe or anything like that?
Come on, paper for like
Well, just because right now, like Zach's going to Montana, Shiraz has some things going on in Dominican here, or just holding down the fort and growing the business over in Calgary.
coming on the paper. I would say I got a couple listings coming up. Cochrane, and we got a rental in Mexico coming up soon here too. So that's gonna be good. And now just keeping busy, getting back to it. Just finished our last flip, and that was more time consuming than I wanted it to be.
Mm.
So jumping back into being a full-time realtor, and it's great. I'm very excited for what the future holds.
You're a lot less stressed since your
Yes.
flip, so that's good.
Yes.
You're stressing me out how stressed you were.
Yes.
Yeah, guys, I'm going to put all of YYC Real Estate Show information in the show notes, and maybe you guys have Instagrams or anything you guys want me to throw on there. I definitely can.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll put all that in the show notes, and thanks guys for coming down and watch the YYC Real Estate Show. And from what I understand, they might be filming out of here from time to time. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you for having us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no,
Thank you.
thanks,
Appreciate
guys.
All of us.
Sweet.
Awesome.
Okay, guys. All right, have
Thanks,
a good
John.
one. Bye.
Take care.